Hey, I'm back with my Thoughtful Thursdays, and if you're following what I'm doing, I'm talking about memorable projects that I've enjoyed and learned a hell of a lot. And this is one that I always give as an example. It's the L'Oreal project, which was commissioned by Kavita Angre, and she had a one-line brief. She said, I don't know why our ads do well in the north and they don't do well in the south. And we called it the L'Oreal South Understanding Project. South Understanding meant that we had to immerse ourselves in, and we just took Chennai, we just took Tamil Nadu as a center because that's a big center for them, to understand how different ages related to life, what were their fears, what were their aspirations, how did they think about life. And there were two young people came to my mind instantly when I thought about it. The first one was this young girl, very smart, studying at Raj College, well dressed, had learned Bharatanatyam, I was in her house. At the end of the interview, she said, no matter how modern we are, we can't wear spaghetti tops outside. We can't wear 3/4 pants outside because in Chennai, we can't show skin. Now that's a big cue where you have a culture where you don't want to, have women who are uncomfortable with certain kind of clothing. So being aware and sensitive of that. The second girl that I met told me about how, because she went to an engineering college, most of the time she was in a uniform and she didn't get this chance to express herself. And I remember this moment where she had her hair tied and I said, how do you look with your hair untied? And that was a completely different looking girl. And then she bought out her jewelry and she shared with us things which were expressions of herself. And the third one was this lady, I remember, she was 42-year-old, but she had a very charming view of life and her self-confidence. And if you know L'Oreal is about Aishwarya Rai and talking about you're worth it. But what is you're worth it means in Chennai? And that line that they had translated was very, very different. It did not mean that. In fact, confidence was a very important attribute that this study pointed out. Being bold, being confident. And that is what they were picking up from Aishwarya when she was walking down the ramp in that red dress. They were picking up the confidence and they were picking up the bold attitude. The second part of the study was interesting because we had to understand cues about romance, relationships, friendships. And I'll give you an instance. We had a battery of 42 ads that we had curated. And I remember this ad of the coconut oil, parachute. The North Indian ad had this, this lady chammak chalo and, showing her skin and her stomach and, doing all this dance. But the South ad, that parachute shot was very subtle. There was subtle romance. There was nothing overt. And it was something that they liked. It gave us a lot of cues of what ads worked for them, what cultural sensibilities were important. And I remember the fast track ad of Janelia way back where she puts her coat over the camera and she's kissing this boy. That was like, this can't happen. And we have to be sensitive about cultures. There are cultures which are modern, traditional. There are cultures which are very traditional. And Chennai is very different. And if you study Chennai versus Bangalore versus Hyderabad versus Kochi, the four states, and then if you have, you go to smaller states like Mangalore and Mysore, they are different. So let's understand cultures, let's understand what works for them, and be sensitive about different cultures and their mindsets. If you like what I say and you want to know more, reach out to us.